And here we go, everybody. Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. It's Wednesday night. We appreciate you tuning in, and happy National Signing Day to everybody out there. Congratulations to all the student athletes and their parents, right? It's a team deal, a big community with their coaches and athletic directors and that everyone that takes a village to make this happen. So happy National Signing Day. We got a big Inland Sports Show coming your way. A little bit later in the show, we will have Ramona cross-country coach Ram Jung, because Ramona High School in Riverside was the first one to have a high school competition since March? I think it was like March 15th or right around there when things got really crazy with the pandemic and everything was shut down. In fact, our last show in studio, and our director, Johnny Nunez, I think he can vouch, I think it was like March 11th, and then we had to shut things down for a while. So Ramona cross country got it going this past Saturday against Arlington. Their head coach will join us. And then Steve Ferreira, Cal Baptist baseball great. He's also the athletic director at Rancho Verde High School. He will join us as well, give us the latest of what's going on with high school sports, with the CIF, all these public health guidelines. There's a lot of moving pieces right now. And again, big thanks to Teen Vision TV 16, always doing such a great job. We love their studio. I know we're kind of zoomed in tight on me right here, but this place is awesome, and we really do appreciate it. Now, we're going to start off the show with some high school football. We talk high school football in every single show. It's our pledge to you, the Inland Empire, to talk high school football in every single show. Joining us live, in fact, I'm looking at the Zoom, and there's guys all over the place. We will start with the head coach at Indian Springs High School, because, again, it was a historic day, a milestone for the Coyotes this afternoon as they had their first football players sign a scholarship. And Coach Chaddick, listen, you've been always so gracious with your time for us here on the Inland Sports Show, on Sports Weekly, on IEMG. But what a special day as a head football coach to have one of your players sign a scholarship and know that their education is going to be taken care of.
Yes, sir. Indeed it is. This is something you dream about. This feels better than winning a CIF championship, and I know a thing about winning a CIF championship. Getting a kid a free education is way better than that, but it takes a village to do so. It starts with great at-home parents and the Jones family. That they're great, can't be better. It starts with administration. Thank you to our principal, Ms. Bikendova, our VP of athletics, Mr. Salmon, Mr. Rosario, so many great people. And of course, our athletic director, John Chamberlain, and my staff. There was a time during this recruiting process when, God bless his soul, Grandpa Richard Sanchez passed away, and we had to plan a funeral. And Coach Headland took the wheel during some of the recruiting efforts to the school that Josh signed with. So we've been blessed with an extraordinary staff, and it all led up to this. Josh is going to a great place. He put in his legwork and did everything he had to do. And us coaches collectively, athletic directors who was always sitting in during these virtual visits, they did a great job. And you, Pat, promoting these guys. Believe it or not, when they have YouTube film of splices of them showing, that makes a difference. So thank you for covering the Inland Empire.
Yeah, we've loved covering Josh Jones at Indian Springs, and he is the man of the hour here as we kind of do this like a virtual signing ceremony. Everything seems to be virtual right now at this point. We're going to go to Josh next. He is at home with his parents here. He will be calling Spearfish, South Dakota home as he will be signing with Black Hills State University. And Josh, first off, if you can hear me, like what was it about Black Hills State University that you really thought, okay, I can call this place home, and this is where I want to be playing college football at?
It was really the coaching staff. They made it feel like it was home. They made it feel like they really wanted me out of all the colleges. So I just went with it because I felt like it was the best opportunity for me and I could play.
Well, Josh, I love your setup at home, man. It looks professional. It looks like you guys, had a big ceremony on campus, but I know we're living in, some different kind. I think Mom did it. Mom just gave me the thumbs up. I think she's the one that orchestrated all of this to make it happen. But Josh, hey, I know this is going to be kind of ceremonial here. So I don't know if you've signed yet. You've probably already signed, but we're going to do the ceremonial signing here with, Black Hills State University. I know it's a long ways from home. What do your folks, what do your parents think about that?
They just told me to stay close to God and just stay focused and just keep pushing, striving every day to be the best I could be.
Josh, was it challenging knowing that, we still don't know if we're going to have any sort of a high school football season? And, I know a junior year is very important to get recruited, but, obviously you want to play your senior year too and maybe, get noticed by a couple more college universities out there, college football programs. Was it tough thinking, man, is this going to hurt my recruiting? Like I could have had a big senior year and kind of opened up more eyes. Like, was it just a challenge being a student athlete and trying to go through that recruiting process?
At first I was devastated because I wanted to play with my brothers, but everything happens for a reason, so I'm just going to keep working and God take the wheel.
Josh, do you have a big warm jacket and some beanies and all that kind of stuff for those cold Spearfish, South Dakota days?
I'm going to have to get some. I'm planning on getting some.
And how about your folks? Are you guys excited that Josh is getting a scholarship? That's every parent's dream.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. We're super excited and we're super proud of him because his hard work has definitely paid off. And like I told him, it was all him. It's all his hard work, all his staying on his academics and, getting up at 4 a.m., going to work out and staying committed always. It's all him.
Well, he's a hard worker. He's a great football player. And obviously, Black Hills State University knows that as well as he's getting this scholarship to go there. Let me go back to Coach Chaddick real quick. And Coach, you and I are tight. We've talked about Josh and some of your other guys, quite a bit. So it's no surprise that he was going to get some offers. What was it about Black Hills State? I know maybe you had a little bit of relationship maybe with some of those coaches because you have to sell your players a little bit, right? You got to build some confidence in that college that your guy is the right guy, that Josh Jones is the guy that they need.
Absolutely. The defensive coordinator actually recruited one of my former players at a previous stop at Abilene Christian, so he kind of remembered what kind of players that we put out, and we had that relationship. Coach Ben Blake as well, the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach, great dude, just kept it on the level, and we just communicated well. And he did a great job reeling in Josh, communicating with Josh, communicating with Coach Headland while I was in the middle of a family emergency, and he did a great job doing all of those things. And Black Hills, I'm representing their I got the little shirt.
I was like, you already got a shirt. That was really quick.
Yeah, overnighted the shirt. So yeah, got the shirt, and the whole family has the shirts, and Chamberlain Eastman got one, and wasn't able to make the delivery to Headland yet, but yeah, we're all rocking for our guy. It's a big day for Indian Springs.
Yeah,
big day.
The first guy to sign a scholarship. And speaking of Coach Headland, let's go there next. Gary Headland, who joined your staff. He's the offensive coordinator, former head coach in our area as well. And Coach Headland, taking over a lot of the recruiting duties. I would assume having a guy like Josh, it's not hard to sell college programs on a kid like this who plays so hard. He's so naturally gifted. You know what I mean? Like what was that recruiting process like with South Hills in terms of like I told Coach Chaddick, he's the guy you need. You need to offer this guy. You need to get him to South Dakota.
I think one of the biggest selling points is just how hard he plays and what type of a person he is. And once you start watching his film, it pops. But once you get to know him, he's even more impressive. And that's something that I have been very blessed to get to know him through the workouts, and then obviously now a lot of Zoom meetings. But just it's not hard to sell Josh Jones. That's like the easiest thing you could possibly do. It doesn't take much effort. It sells itself because of what a great young man he is.
Now, Coach Headland, let me ask you this. For the sake of this conversation, let's say we squeeze in a couple high school football games this spring. When you look at a guy like Josh Jones, are you thinking, I can play him anywhere? I could put him at quarterback, running back, receiver. Like, you could naturally just put him anywhere because he's just that good.
I think 1,000 yards is on the table if we can get 5 games. He's a superstar. and he can do a lot of things offensively, and obviously is even better on defenses. That's where he's getting his chance to play college ball. He's a very special young man, and it's a great day for Indian Springs and for the Jones family. And I couldn't be more proud to have had a small impact on him.
Well said, Coach Hedlund. Let me go back to Josh and his family one more time. And Josh, I'm just curious, when you have a moment like today, like this signing ceremony, to know you have the scholarship, you've signed it. Josh, is it relief? Is it excitement? What kind of emotions did you have today, knowing that it finally came to this point and it's over? You know where you're going to be in college.
I'm excited for sure. I just can't wait to go out and compete. I just can't wait to go out there, really.
So, Josh, if I asked you, what position do you play? What would you tell the South Hills coaches? Where do you think you'll be playing at the next level? What position?
I think I'm gonna play DB, but wherever they put me, I'm gonna play it, really.
See, that's the right answer, because you can play a lot of different positions on the field, but I think you're going to get over there. I think you're just going to knock their socks off. They struck gold here with Josh Jones. Hey, all Indian Springs, hey, I appreciate you guys all jumping on. I really do. And let me go back to Coach Chaddock one more time. And, Coach, again, like I told Coach Hedlund, if we can just get a couple games in here, I think it'd be really special to see Josh Jones and everybody else out there flying around a couple more times, especially for the seniors, right? I mean, maybe if we get a couple games, let the seniors suit up in those Indian Spring colors one more time.
Absolutely. We got some dogs too. There's some overlooked dudes, Ray Juarez, Markel Wooten, and rumor has it we're working on something to get Mario Zelaya up there with Josh Jones. Something might be in the works. We're working on it. We're burning the midnight oil. So my linebacker may be joining him up at Black Hill State. So that's a little breaking news, but it all depends. We'll see where the cookie crumbles. But hey, I'd love to get games with these guys, especially the seniors. Daniel Camacho, he's grown leaps and bounds. Andre Harris, all these guys, so many great seniors. Giovanni Garcia. I mean, just a great group of kids. Paul Barajas, Ryan Jordan. We have some dudes that would have been very, very special. And I'm hoping we get the opportunity. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But that power is out of my hands, and I'm just going to stay positive, keep loving up on the kids, and thanking Coach Chamberlain behind the scenes, because that man is doing big work. He's doing a lot of heavy lifting that you don't see to try to get us back on the field. So I'm very happy about that. I don't know if he's still here in the meeting, but man, that guy is doing some great things, and I'm so glad to work for an AD that advocates for these kids, the Josh Joneses of the world. It's great working for a man like that.
Yeah, those ADs out there fighting on behalf of the kids. It's not easy right now, but they're certainly doing it. Coach, I'm predicting Josh Jones will be the first of many Indian Springs players signing scholarships in the future. I appreciate your time. Congratulations to Josh and the family. Exciting times out there at Indian Springs, the first player to sign a football scholarship. All right, we appreciate all of them jumping on here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, how about some cross country? The high school sports season has started here in the IE, and the first ones to kick it all off at Ramona High School, the cross country team. Their head coach will join us next on the Inland Sports Show.
Awesome. What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
Hey guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the Bass School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. Bass is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. Bass School enrollment for the 2021-2022 2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information. The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods.
I think it's good. Me and Patrick both like Stafford. We both think he's a great quarterback. If I'm looking at people who are complaining, I think they're seeing that maybe the Rams got rid of a young quarterback for an older quarterback.
Right. That is true.
Yeah, because Goff is 26, and I heard Matt Stafford is actually his birthday's this week, so he's about to be 33. But, I mean, he still has several good years left in the tank, and I think, a lot of these – I hate to bring up Mike Trout of the Angels, but some of these guys, they just play on not very good teams, and they waste, their prime. And Matt Stafford was on a Detroit, team that was not very good for a long time. They made the playoffs 3 times. He's never won a playoff game, but he got him to the playoffs 3 times. But they were just a lousy franchise. They just could not get over the hump with him at quarterback.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks to Indian Springs High School football for joining us here on the show. It was National Signing Day. And I know a lot of high school football players, they sign in that early signing period on that early signing date in December. Some, still do it in February, that traditional date. And again, very exciting for Indian Springs. Josh Jones being the first football player from Indian Springs High School to ink a scholarship. And again, congratulations to all the athletes, football and all the sports out there who signed scholarships today on National Signing Day, because there was quite a bit of them out there. Now, Johnny, behind the scenes, can you cue up the Nick Figueroa soundbite? We might be going to it here. We're going to save it for the last segment, but we're trying to get the Ramona cross-country coach, Ram Jung, here on the show in just a moment. We do got it. So we got Coach Jung coming up. We also have Steve Ferreira, the Rancho Verde High School athletic director, joining us because, again, there's a lot of moving parts in the world of high school sports. We do have cross country right now because it is a purple tier sport. They can be competing right now based on the guidelines, but a lot of those other sports, baseball, softball, they are red. Football, soccer, those are orange. We still got work to do to get to those colored tiers unless something changes with the state public health guidelines. And I know there's a lot of advocates across the state, including some high school football coaches that are trying to make that happen. So we'll talk more high school athletics with Coach Jung and also the AD at Rancho Verde, Steve Ferreira. But right now, let's hear from Nick Figueroa. Now, this guy played at Cajon High School. He signed with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to play football. Then he came back to RCC and it was off the charts. He was so good. And then he signed with USC and he had a monster season for the Trojans this past year. He had shoulder surgery, so he's going to be rehabbing this offseason to get back ready for the fall, and he says he will be ready. But man, what a challenging year to be playing college football and in the Pac-12, because the Pac-12 didn't even know if they were going to have a season at one point. Here is Cajon High School product Nick Figueroa. What are some of the memories, things that you're going to remember about this year?
Well, first, just having gone like season getting canceled in October, then all the way to like making it to the championship. It just was like, you know, stuff comes at you so fast when you're kind of in the grind, but then looking back at it, you're like, wow, I just, you know, couldn't even imagine all those things happening. So really, like as a whole, I'm just like, what a year, you know. That's kind of the only way I can look at it. I wish we would have came out with a win against Oregon, but yeah, that's pretty much like as a whole. And then kind of like my year in like looking at my personal year, just like from last year to this year, it's just, it feels good to like know some of the work's paying off, but you know, still a lot to be done. There's a lot left on the table, especially watch the film. That's like one of the things my coach, Coach Vic preaches, and turn it on. It's like, wow, there's so much stuff left out there.
And a big thanks to Nick Figueroa. He always makes time for us. In fact, the last time I think I saw him in person, we were joking about this, was I was up in San Luis Obispo as UC Riverside was playing Cal Poly in basketball, and he was playing football there, and he actually made time to come over to the gym and say hi. And I think we even did a quick little interview out there at Mott Gymnasium on the campus of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. But now he's at USC starting on defense, and that USC defense is going to be good and chock full of Inland Empire guys with Drake Jackson from Centennial. They also just picked up Corey Foreman from Centennial, so that defense for USC is going to be very, very good, and they're stock full of Inland Empire guys, of course. All right, now let's see. I'm going to admit him right now. He is the Ramona cross-country coach, and usually we don't do it on the fly quite like this. I hope Johnny Nunez, our director behind the scenes, is so good on the fly. In fact, it's so funny I can see his camera behind the scenes. But Coach Jung, we're going to bring you right on to the show, and I appreciate you making time for us here on the Inland Sports Show, because we are excited to talk about cross-country. It was a long time coming. We know it's a purple tier sport, so we can safely compete right now at the high school level. So, Coach Jung, first off, talk about the meet this past Saturday, and how did it go for you guys? Oh, it looks like his camera shot froze. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, Johnny. When we come back, we'll try to get it straightened out with Coach Jung, and then a little bit later in the show, Steve Ferreira, the athletic director at Rancho Verde High School. We'll be right back on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Alexander Madison. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports. Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team? Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A huge thanks to our team behind the scenes at Teen Vision TV 16, our director, Johnny Nunez, making things happen. We do appreciate it. Now joining the show, he is a California Baptist baseball legend. And now he's rocking the red and the black for the Rancho Verde High School. It's their athletic director, Steve Ferreira. And Steve, first off, man, I love your setup. Look at that, man. You got the great background. You got the earphones, which are red. Like you are all dialed in with the color scheme right now. You must love the Mustangs.
I love the Mustangs, man. Gotta have the Rancho Red.
Hey, Steve. So you go from college baseball star to high school athletic director. Talk about your journey, just a little bit, your background of how you went from CBU to where you're at now.
Oh man, it was a while. It was a little bit of a journey. I went after college. I played a little bit independent baseball. When I finished there, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Decided I still wanted to be in sports, and went and got my teaching credential and went into PE and coaching, and from there opened up an opportunity to be an athletic director in Moreno Valley High School. So I was there for 7 years as an athletic director and a coach, and then came over to Rancho Verde. This is my 4th year there now. So it's been a while since I started, but it's been a good journey.
Well, Steve, one of your coaches, Steve Brockman, girls soccer coach at the ranch, he tells me you were quite the softball coach. I think he said it tongue in cheek, yes, that you had an illustrious softball coaching career.
I wouldn't go illustrious. When I took over a coaching coaching there to kind of try to resurrect a program that hadn't been doing so well, and we got them rolling in the right direction, and it was a good time. It was a new experience for me. I was always a baseball coach, and jumping in and taking a program. With the girls didn't have a coach, and it was like, Coach, I need a coach. Like, we don't have a season if we don't have a coach, and so I couldn't let that happen. So I said, yeah, I'll try it, and it was a good time. It was a good experience. I learned a lot from working with the girls, and it was a good time.
Well, Steve, if we can just dig in a little bit deeper here, based on your experience, as a former student athlete, as a former coach, and now an athletic director, you could probably relate to what some of these student athletes are going through right now, and these coaches who are probably chomping at the bit, like, are we going to have a season? Can we start practicing? And if we practice, what does that practice look like with all these different protocols? I mean, being an athletic director right now, has it been challenging to, keep morale up maybe, across your athletic teams, knowing that we still don't know exactly what's going on? We know what the purple tier sports are, and we can compete in those safely if we, the districts are behind it and whatnot. But is it challenging as an AD having to deal with, trying to make plans that we just don't know, are they going to come to fruition or not? Is this going to happen? Or, there's a lot of question marks right now.
Yeah, it's been extremely challenging, and I can't imagine what the athletes are actually going through, and the coaches, being a former athlete, that desire to compete and, want to show your skills and get out there and put your hard practice to work and not get that opportunity. I can't imagine what that would feel like right now. And the challenging part for us, obviously, is planning for the unknown. And it's been that way since all this started through the summer. We started planning in the summer for the fall, and you're planning for something that you have no idea what you're planning for, because it could change in an instant. And that's what's kind of been happening for us, is it's changing, daily. And so I think the biggest challenge for us as athletic directors, at least, from my standpoint, is one, yes, keeping the morale up and keeping the interest there, keeping the kids' grades, where they need to be, because distance learning is such a difficult thing for these kids to undergo right now, across the board, from little to elementary to high school, because I have my own kids who are struggling with it. But trying to keep that aspect going so that if we do get to play, you're eligible to play. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of it too. But I think one of the biggest challenges is not being able to tell the coaches or the players what's going to happen, because we don't know. We can plan, and we might have a plan in place, or we're working on a plan, but we don't have all the details yet. And right now, currently, you're right, we're waiting on permissions. We're waiting on, district approval so we can continue moving forward with, our sports. And every district's, on a little bit different situation, currently. And so, we're just doing our best to make sure that we can try to get something in if the opportunity presents itself.
Steve, you brought up a great point, and I know, with Rancho Verde being in the, the Rain Cross Conference, right, with the Ivy League, the Sun Belt League, and the Inland Valley League. Is it hard because you're dealing with a bunch of different school districts? Like, I know there's some leagues that have teams in different counties, and now the Rain Cross has teams in different districts. I mean, that's kind of a juggling act in itself, isn't it? When in terms of what are you guys doing? Are you guys practicing? Are you going to play? Like we're not all getting out of the gate at the same time.
Yeah, it's a challenge in itself when things are normal, to try to schedule things within all the districts and the facilities and all the moving parts that comes with being in the conference, with 15 different schools and so many different districts involved. But you add this aspect of not knowing what's going on, districts having different policies in place as far as what we can do for conditioning or practices. So yeah, we're all at different levels trying to juggle and plan for that. And the best thing we can do is have a plan in place, so that best case scenario, we all have permission, we can all compete. This is how we're going to do it, and do it safely, so we can give our kids a chance to have somewhat of a season when a chance comes.
And Steve, finally, I know we still have a little bit more time with those spring sports, the season 2 sports that are a little bit later. Baseball, softball, basketball is now a spring sport for this year, soccer. But the fall sports that are on the clock right now, that window is closing. And I'm specifically thinking about football. We saw the CIF Southern Section made the move to eliminate playoffs with hopes of just, maybe playing league games. Maybe you play 4 or 5 league games and sneak them in there before April 17th. Are you staying optimistic about, the possibility of having some sort of a football season, whatever that looks like?
Yeah, we don't want to rule anything out at this point. The window is closing, like you said. But, we have a few weeks. We're trending in the right direction. I know we've got a long ways to get to orange, and hopefully we can get there. Hopefully, I know that there's some news out there with the NFHS pushing to try to remove sports from the colored tier aspect of the whole return to play stuff. Mm-hmm. We don't know where that's going to go, but if that were to happen, that could potentially get us out there sooner. But that's all new and still speculation that anything's going to change.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, because that's just what came out, was that there's no high risk or moderate risk or low risk. There's no colored tiers. There's
right.
just sports. So we'll see if that might change the game here in California. But we'll see, and it would have to happen pretty quickly for the fall sports teams that are that are not in the purple tier. So
yeah, it could really have a positive impact on the spring season. It might be a little too late for fall. If it doesn't, something doesn't happen quickly. But I mean, we have until, I think it's April 17th to complete our football season with the elimination of the regionals and the CIF championships. So we do have a window of opportunity to try to get in a few games. What that might look like, I don't know if it's 5 games, 3 games, but the opportunity is not gone. It's just the window is closing, like you said.
Well, we're all hoping. So, Steve, thank you for making some time for us here on the Inland Sports Show. I really do appreciate it, and I know it's tough to be an athletic director right now. So, best of luck going forward as we finish out this school year.
Appreciate it, Pep. Always good to be on, and enjoy watching the show. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Steve Ferreira, athletic director at the Rancho Verde High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Steve. When we come back, yes, we will talk some Ramona cross country on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep Man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep Man. You guys rock.
The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods. Hey guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the BASS School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. BASS is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. BASS school enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information.
Leading scorer for the Trailblazers. He has 11. Rao behind his back to Nottage for another 3. What a pass.
And that was CBU basketball taking on Dixie State from this past weekend. They split that series with the Trailblazers. So CBU men's basketball on the road at New Mexico State. Now, the state of New Mexico says that you can practice. We're talking about practice, but you can't play games. So CBU is flying to El Paso, Texas, and they will play New Mexico State in El Paso. So we'll see how that goes for the CBU men's basketball team as they play New Mexico State in El Paso. The CBU women's basketball team, they are home this weekend against New Mexico State. And the CBU women, they are 14-0 on the season. They have won 17 straight games dating back to last year. So they are on an absolute roll right now. Think about this. The CBU women could be in March Madness if it all plays out the way it looks like so far. So they're on a roll right now. So Friday, Saturday, CBU at home against New Mexico State. Right now, though, we're talking cross country. This is very exciting because we had a real high school sporting event this past Saturday in Riverside as Ramona took on Arlington in boys and girls cross country. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the head coach for the Rams, Ram Jung. And Coach Jung, how exciting was it to be out on the course? And it was perfect. Like the sun was out. It was a beautiful Saturday morning in Riverside to actually go compete against another team in a legit CIF competition. How cool, how fun was that?
Well, with all the work we've put in, both the athletes, the coaches, the ADs, and convincing our district to allow us to race, it was just a huge relief. And for our athletes,
looks like we're having some technical difficulties with Coach Jung and his internet connection. We'll sit tight for just a moment and see if we can figure that out, if he's going to log back in.
Another day like that ever, because, oh, shoot.
All right, looks like Coach Jung is having some internet what is it, like the internet connection, sometimes it's agreeable and sometimes it's not. We've been trying to get him on throughout the show, but he must live like in the mountains. I bet you he has like this fancy, palatial mountain resort and the internet's not good up there. Or maybe he lives in downtown Riverside. I heard there's a hole in downtown Riverside where the internet is just not very good. I think is it around Norte Vista? I don't know. There's an area down there that. I think he might be back. I've been tap dancing a little bit. Coach Jung, I think we got you back here, but yeah, you guys have been putting in so much work. You have strong leadership. I know John Tibbles, your athletic director, very, very well. In fact, he did our show a couple of weeks, and he kind of told us for the first time that there was a cross country meet scheduled for you guys this past weekend. But to actually see it come to fruition, pretty exciting times out there at Ram High, right?
Yes. In fact, his daughter runs for Riverside Poly, and so he himself has been so eager to see his own daughter run.
Well, Coach, you know, when I saw the colored tiers come out and I saw that cross country was a purple tier sport, I was always optimistic. I'm like, at some point, it's going to happen. We will have cross country as soon as we get the stay-at-home order lifted, and it was, and it looks like you guys were ready to, literally, pun intended, hit the ground running. I mean, as soon as you guys got the order lifted, purple tier sports were allowed, and you guys that weekend were able to, pull off a cross country competition. Was that kind of in the back of your mind that whenever you had the green light that you just wanted to be able to go?
Well, we've had plans in place since December when they announced everything that was pushed back. We have several plans where first we were expecting to do cluster meets. Then we had another plan where we had all 6 teams in one place, 2 hours apart. But the difficulty is getting our districts to okay it. And finally, they basically said you can have a dual meet in one place.
And then do you have another one?
Yes, we were very well prepared.
And Coach, do you have another one this Saturday, like another one scheduled?
Yes. Alvord Unified finally agreed to allow their schools to compete. So we're going to have actually 3 dual meets in 3 separate locations. We'll have Patriot at La Sierra, Norte Vista at Ramona, and Hillcrest at Arlington.
So that's really exciting because, like you mentioned, that's 3 different school districts just in the River Valley League. Is that correct?
Correct, because River Valley Unified was okay with it. It's just that they were the odd team out.
So, Coach, I know you probably got a lot of publicity, good publicity for Ramona High School, because I can't think of another high school sporting event in the Inland Empire in Southern California before you guys. I think you might have been the first one out of the gate. I think there were some cross-country meets up in Northern California earlier in that week, but I think you guys might have been the first in Southern California.
Yes, definitely. And not only that, but when you look at performing arts with music, theater, dance, and everything, we have had absolutely nothing. And so we were the only event, period.
Well, Coach, it was so good to see you guys out there competing. I know a lot of people that gave them some confidence that, hey, high school sports can resume, we can do it safely, and that maybe some other sports, or maybe, like you've pointed out, maybe other activities on campus can resume, with everything's going to look a little bit different with some protocols in place. But I think you guys built confidence not only for your campus, but I think for a lot of high school sports across the Inland Empire that you can do it, because now I hear there's cross-country meets popping up all over the place now. But you guys led the way. You were the trailblazers. You guys were the pioneers. And for your kids, to race against somebody else, like you said, they put in all that work. They want to go out there and compete, right, and show what they've been working on.
Oh, yes, definitely. Especially our top runner, Juan Espino. He's been training hard since May. And when the coaches couldn't coach with the athletes for 5 months, our captains have been practicing 5 days a week, leading the team.
And Coach,
so this was for him especially. He was looking forward to it to see what he could really do in a race.
Well, he got the top boys time. He won the boys race, and I saw his time, Coach. That was a pretty good time for Juan Espino to win that race, and the time he posted. I guess, is cross-country running like riding a bike? Like you just get back out on the course and you're like, hey, this feels good. I remember how to do this. The muscle memory kicks into place because, like you said, it was a long layoff, but they have been training. Like you said, 5 months on their own, and then they come back to you as a team for a little bit before the season started. So, but is it like riding a bike? You just get back out there and go?
Well, for Juan, he was a 17-minute, 50-second runner on that course as a sophomore. And he has progressed incredibly to take it down 2 minutes to a 15:47. So really for him, it's wasn't the same bike. It was a faster bike. And so he was so eager to see if all that hard work was going to equal improvement. And it did. And it was very satisfying.
I can imagine setting. I don't know if that was a PR for him on that course on your campus, but man, that was a great time. When you sent me the times, I'm like, wow, he blew everybody out. Like his time was fantastic. And Coach, my last question for you is, what do you think the rest of the River Valley League season will look like? And will you have a league finals? Will that look like a time trial? Like, have you thought that far ahead, like what that might kind of look like for the River Valley League?
Oh, yes. We still have a plan to try to get all 6 teams in one location at Ramona High School. And if we can't get the cluster meet where 6 teams are running at the same time, at least we're going to try to have all 6 teams in the same place on the same day.
Well, that would be fun to see. Hopefully that can happen. And Coach, kudos to you, Mr. Tibbles, everyone out there at Ramona High School for making that happen this past Saturday. Again, a lot of people were fired up and excited, and some great publicity out there for Ramona High School to lead the charge back into high school sports. Coach Jung, I appreciate it, and I might be popping by one of these cross-country meets to shoot a little video and see what's up out there with the Ram High.
Well, Pep, thank you, and we definitely would love to see you out there.
Yes, sir. That's Ram Jung, head cross-country coach at Ramona High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Coach, do appreciate it. Well, that's going to do it for this Inland Sports Show. Big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez, behind the scenes, always making it happen here at Teen Vision TV 16. We do appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, follow us on social media. If you have a signing from today on National Signing Day, go ahead and send us any pictures or video that you might have. We'd love to share it and celebrate your signing as well. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you. Be nice to one another, and we'll see you again next Wednesday night, 6:05 first pitch for your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.